Hi, I'm Barrett.
And I'm Brandon.
And we are Bionic Fitness.
Do you guys want to see Barrett sweat? I do. I do. And not just from pointing out his flaws or mentioning the bleak future of post-pandemic life.
Oh, God. Let's not go there.
Today we're going to do a quick little basic warm-up, and I'm going to talk about some principles as we do it, right? The first thing I want to tackle is that a lot of people will say that you should not static stretch before your workout. Mm-hmm. The reason why I think you should static stretch before your workout is because if your muscles are tight and inhibiting your range of motion around a joint, it's going to create a dysfunctional movement in your workout, and we obviously don't want that, right? So static stretching is a way to open up the areas that are tight and make sure you have full range of motion through each of those joints and you can move effectively and properly, right?
Like we talked about in our posture video, a lot of people that may sit at a desk or in everyday life have that tight zigzag pattern posture, and we want to alleviate that. We want to release those muscles that are tight and causing that postural problem.
Right. The reason why people say don't static stretch is because it doesn't bring your heart rate up. It doesn't really elicit synovial fluid or lubricant in your joints. However, I'm going to say you should static stretch. I will follow that up with saying we should also warm up afterwards, right?
Yes.
To make sure that those two things do happen throughout your warm up, right?
Absolutely.
So
you want to change the flow of blood in your body. When you are at rest or when you are just going about day-to-day tasks, your body is more focused on the use of your organs, whereas when you exercise, it's of course more focused on your muscles. So you need to give your body a chance to change that blood flow.
Right. I'm gonna make you sweat. Make you sweat, make you sweat.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start off. There's gonna be 3 different phases to our warm up today. It should take approximately 5 minutes. The first is static stretching, like I mentioned. The next one will be biomechanical firing to kind of fire up those muscles that have been sleepy or not working the way that we want them to. And the last one will be the work phase to kind of bring up that heart rate, and those joints will be nice and lubricated afterwards too, right? So we're gonna get Barrett to go into a quad stretch. He's gonna use the couch to elevate his back leg, and he's gonna bring his front foot into a lunge position. As he does this, he's going to squeeze his abs, squeeze his glutes, and really try and get that quad in the front nice and stretched. This is my favorite quad stretch because when you're in a standing position and you elevate your leg, we've all seen that quad stretch. That's a great stretch. However, most people will do it incorrectly. They will let their hips fall into an anterior pelvic tilt, and they're actually creating crowding in their lower back more than they're actually stretching their quad, right? This allows us to tuck it in and isolate the quad the way we want it to. If you're finding that this isn't intense enough for you, you can back your knee up towards the couch. If you're finding it's too intense for you, you can bring your knee forward to alleviate this. You can also do this against a wall. I like to do this with clients against a wall. Let's switch sides.
Okay.
Great. While he's stretching also, he's going to be taking big breaths. He's going to make sure his nervous system is happy. He's getting oxygen into his blood, and everything lets go the way we want it to, right? If you're tense or holding your breath through your stretching or through your workout, things will not release as well as when you're relaxed and breathing. Barrett wants to hold this for 30 seconds to a minute. For the sake of this video, we're going to speed it up a little bit. We're just going to do quick demos, right? So we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch. So it's going to be the same thing, except for this time the back leg is going to be flat against the ground. Because we are keeping it down, he's going to bring his foot forward even more. Good. And he should be able to lean farther forward into that stretch, right? We want to make sure that his hips are not tilting up and down this way or turning left and right that way, right? So keeping everything nice and secure. So that hip forward, abs nice and tight, lean forward a little bit more. Good, you feel it through your hip flexor? Great, perfect, big breaths. Perfect, let's switch. Again, you guys are gonna do this for longer. We're just doing this for demo purposes. Good. Lean forward, big ab. Another thing you can add to this if you find that you're really tight is you can take the arm that is on the same side as your dropped knee, reach up and reach over your body, keeping your abs nice and tight and pelvis nice and engaged. How does that feel?
It's a big stretch.
Does it intensify it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, great, perfect. Good. Again, while you're doing this, try not to arch into your lower back, right? So fall forward a little bit, give yourself a tiny little crunch, and reach up and over. Good. Okay. Next one we're going to do is the groin stretch. So like we talked about with an anterior pelvic tilt, the groin muscles tend to get really tight, and that can aggravate the knee. So Barrett's going to get onto one knee, and he's going to extend the leg out to the side. Perfect. He's going to keep his foot flat on the ground, and he's going to rock his hips forward and backwards to try and roll through all the different fibers through those groin muscles, which are also known as the adductors. When he's doing this, he's also going to pay attention to which way his knee is facing. It's going to be a tiny, tiny little movement, but he's going to do a few of these with kneecap pointing upwards and a few of these with kneecap pointing downwards. Do you feel the difference there?
Yes.
Perfect.
It rotates in through the fibers. I feel it more in the back and then more in the front.
Perfect. Good. Awesome. We want to make sure that entire muscle belly is being stretched and just not just one strand of that, right? Okay, good. Other side.
Same thing. Oftentimes people will find that one side of your groin might be a little tighter than the other. That's a natural, what we call imbalance. So that just means that you need to stretch that side out a little bit more and maybe pay attention to the muscles on that side of your body that are working or not working in any given case.
Just like hands, we have a dominant hand and a non-dominant hand. With our legs, it's a little different. If you think about kicking a soccer ball, we use one leg for stability to hold yourself up, and the other one for mobility to kind of kick and swing that ball. So they're both working functionally, they're just working differently. That'll create a different tightness or function through either hip. So in fitness, we want to try and find symmetry as best we can. We might never find it, but we work to try and include that into our workouts as much as we can. As you notice, Barrett's not flaring his hip open. He's keeping it nice and square. So tuck it back in. Perfect. Just like so. Good. Awesome. Okay. The last thing we're going to do for the static stretch, and again, I'm just hitting some of the main areas. This is not a full stretch. Is we're going to do chest, right? So if you imagine that I am a wall, Barrett is going to put his hand up against a wall, and he's actually going to raise it up so that his elbow is a little higher than his shoulder. He's going to pull the shoulder down away from his abs. That's going to allow that pec minor that we mentioned in our other videos to elongate, because when this is lower, this shortens. So right there, and he's going to engage his abs, making sure he doesn't arch to the lower back, and he's going to turn that way and keep the shoulder down as best he can. Do you feel that, Barrett? Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Sometimes people will find that there may be pinching in the back of their shoulder while they do a chest stretch. That's generally something that means that there's an impingement or a dysfunction within your shoulder. In order to maybe get rid of that pinching, just shift around. Try not to lower that elbow too much, but shift around to try and find a more comfortable position and feel the stretch instead through the chest.
Barrett's head is nice and neutral and upright. If he dumps his head forward, lots of people tend to do that. That'll create length and aggravation in his back, again, which can cause some of that pinching too, which we want to avoid. Good. We're going to pretend he did this on the other side. Also, again, this is demo purposes, right? So that's the static stretching that I want to hit here. The next, we're going to get into some biomechanical firing, right? So Barrett's going to get into all fours, and he's just going to do cat-cow. We did this in pelvic control video that we did, and so he's just going to give me a few cat-cows here, especially emphasizing the cat portion right here where he's squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes. He's going to take a second longer here than he is in the cow position. Good, big breaths. He's breathing out in this position and breathing in this position. Great. Let's get into high plank position. And let's do that cat-cow really quickly. Again, we demoed this and explained this series in the pelvic control video. So if you're curious about that, find that video. Good. Let's get into standing position. And just give me tilt cat-cow. Good, and squat position. Good. Come on down onto all fours. We're going to do fire hydrants. We're going to hit the abductors or glute med and TFL in his side hip, which are big stabilizers. So he's going to do what's called a fire hydrant. Can you give me just a basic one up to the side? Good. And down. This is just a basic hydrant. If you feel like you're strong and you can handle it and you can control your lower back, you can do the more advanced version where Barrett takes his knee, brings it up to his elbow, and he keeps his lower back nice and flat as he brings his knee to the sky, up, and kicks it backwards, supporting his lumbar spine and bringing it back the same way he came, and back down. Perfect. Give me one more of those. Great. He's going to do about 10 to 12 on either side, okay? Then he's going to come on up and he's going to get into, we're going to do a little bit of a spinal torsion with control. So he's going to get into a lunge position, lifting that knee at the back. Perfect. And he's going to reach up. As he does this, he's going to pull both shoulders down and back so his shoulder blades come together. His chest opens. Good. And reach back down to your hand. Good. And again, up. And he's going to go up, but not just up. Whoops. Bit of balance there. That's good.
Yeah.
We want to work on those stabilizers, right? That's good. Reach back towards the TV, feel the flamingo and the bionic fitness sign. Good. Back down. Give me one more.
Okay, I think.
You feeling warm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoopa. So again, focus on those abs.
Yes. Great. Okay, coming down, lay on your back. We're going to do a simple glute bridge. Barrett's pretty strong and has strong glutes, so we're going to separate this into one side and then the other. You can do just a straight glute bridge. Give me a straight glute bridge to demo first.
Okay.
He's going to tuck his tailbone in, engage his abs and his glutes, and he's going to lift and fire those glutes up as best he can, right? He's going to make sure his knees don't splay out to the side, that they stay nice and in line, so his ankle, his knees, and his hips are all one line, right? Can you bring one leg up into the air? Good, and down. No, keep it up.
Yes.
Glute bridge down. Good. So he's going to do a single-legged glute bridge. If you're stronger, you feel okay. You can separate sides. This is more challenging. You're just hitting one side at a time, right? Do the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Abs. Good. Tailbone tuck. Abs tight. Nice strong glute. Do you feel that in the glute?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might feel a little bit of hamstring support also in this exercise. As long as the majority of that movement comes from the glute, then we're happy with that. Do you feel hamstrings helping out?
Yeah, a tiny bit.
Good. That's perfect. Good. Okay, let's turn over into a high plank position. We're going to get his heart rate going a little bit and get everything moving. So we're going to get him to do mountain climbers. This is just a basic cardio exercise. You can do a lot of different things. You can skip. You can do like running on the spot. There's lots that you can do, but we're just going to do a mountain climber. So he's going to go back and forth. Notice how his hips are kind of staying stationary. They're not bobbing up and down. They're not bouncing around. They're staying nice and stable. Right there. Good. Give me double time. Yeah. Great. And you want to hold that for about a minute. All right. Come on back down. Next, so that's our biomechanical functioning phase. We're going to go into our work phase. So Barrett, I want you to come on up and we're going to do some squats to start. We have a whole series of squat videos, so if you're curious about form, then go ahead and check those out. But Barrett's just going to give me a few squats here. He's going to come down nice and low all the way down, so his hips are low. He's going to activate the glutes from the bottom. Perfect. And he's going to thrust through the glutes as he comes up. He's going to keep his shoulder blades together, his abs engaged. And as you're doing your squats, again, just make sure that your hips are snapping into place before your knees do. If your knees are snapping in place first, we know that your quads are taking over, which is not what we want, right? I'm going to get Barrett to move into jump squats. So same thing, give me a couple little jump squats. Good. As he comes down, he's landing softly. Good. He's not going to slam his joints. He's landing softly into that, right? This time we're going to get him to do a regular squat. And he's going to come up and lift up through and bring one knee to his chest. Yep. Good. Knee to chest. Perfect. Knee to chest. Good. He's going to do about 20 to 30 of those. Perfect. Then we're going to do jumping jacks, again, continuing at that heart rate elevation. The camera's bobbing everywhere. That's fine. That's fine.
That's great.
That's great. You can do these at home by yourself. He's keeping, as you notice, he was soft on his feet also, not creating a lot of impact through those joints, right? The last thing I want him to do are burpees. He's going to do 5 burpees. He is fit and he's strong, so he's going to do the full burpee with the push-up and the hop, right? So come on down.
I'm going to take off my mic at this moment, just so that we don't pull the camera again.
Yeah. Perfect. He's going to be nice and soft on the ground so we can be respectful of our neighbors downstairs and we don't shake the camera up too much. All right, so come on down. Okay. So a burpee is a low squat, and then he's going to put his hands down and he's going to jump back into a high plank position. He's going to do a push-up. He's going to come on up and he's going to jump his knees forward and he's going to get again into that low squat position, right? And then come on up and give a little hop. Hop at the top.
Oh.
Good. One more, just one more. Squat, high plank, push up, squat, and jump. Perfect. In burpees, we see a lot of people rounding through the back in order to get to where they want to be, and we don't want that. That's why I hit squat first, high plank, so that that back is nice and neutral and we're not curving too much, right? Barrett, how you feeling? You feeling warm?
Yes.
Ready for a workout?
Most definitely.
Perfect. So we've hit up his entire body. We have increased his heart rate. He is sweaty, which is great, and he's ready to go. All right. Anything else to add?
No. Remember, guys, you always want to make sure that blood flow changes. Make sure that you warm your body up properly before you exercise. If you don't, oftentimes that can cause a little bit of injury or perhaps some overuse on your muscles, and we don't want that.
Warm-up should be challenging. So if you're feeling like you're not sweaty, your heart rate is not elevated, then we want you to increase that intensity and go just a little bit harder. All right. Happy working out. Follow us on Instagram, and our email is below if you have any questions. But this is just a basic warm-up set into different segments that you can kind of follow along by yourself if you like.
Thanks a lot, guys. Happy working out.